Hey folks, it's Brad here, or maybe I should say howdy today. So I'm going to talk about multiple newer products today, all having to do with flash so that you can compare them, because I find that that's the best thing that helps me. So I want to talk about what the purpose is for these different things, because there are different types of flash for your flash photography. So let's start out with a basic. We've got just an on-camera speed light, this kind of thing that just goes right on top. I like the mag-mod ones to diffuse the light. These modifiers, they are a little pricey. There are other options, and that's one thing that we'll talk about. But that's what I take around with me by default when I don't have a shoot planned where I want to do off-camera flash. And you've got this newer modifier for flash, which if you're not using mag-mod, then this might come in handy. Also, there are some things that mag-mod aren't designed to work with. So this is good for creating a larger surface area to diffuse the light, and that's going to make a big difference. Some people, they like to be true to the perceived light source and use a roundish one if they're outside, because that creates a catch light in the eye like it's the sun. And they like to use rectangular ones only if they're inside, because then you could pretend it's a window light. I don't care. I don't care if people want to analyze the catch lights in people's eyes in my photo. Screw that. All I care about is whether the light is diffused and it creates a beautiful picture without pixel peepers worrying about it. I mean, I don't worry about pixel peepers. So this is the kind of modifier that can go onto a speed light like this. It has a little opening here with some grabby material on the inside. It has a double baffle that you can pull across if you want. There's a little strip in here that you can attach to get a first level of diffusion before the second level. You can take that off if you don't want it to be quite as diffused, if you don't want to remove so many stops of light. And then you loop this through this little slot and you Velcro it down so that tightens it up a little bit. And this works pretty well, except it's a little bit flimsy, and when there's something in it, it holds up better, but it's not going to be very exacting for this kind of thing because there's no structural support within this. Okay, but I use it with a different light that I'll talk about in a little bit. So if you don't just want to do on-camera flash, then you might be thinking, let's go to one of the extremes. You might be thinking, well, I want to do studio lighting flash. A lot of people like to use flash only in studios. There will be an in-between option, but the newer S101, this is the upgraded model. This one is good for studio use, but I should note that all of these newer models, they're not really high professional grade, so you have some deficits, but they're pretty good for starting out, and I've been happy with them. So this one requires you to plug into a wall, the S101, and it's pretty big. This guy, it has a protector for the light on there, not that foam thing, but the black thing on the end that covers the light. It has a modeling light, which is extremely useful, especially if, like me, you're using an optical snoot with a gobo on it. It comes with a reflector, just the basic Bowens mount reflector, and that's the really good thing about this, is it has Bowens mount, so you can put different diffusers on it, which I've done like an optical snoot. And that is pretty good, except that it's not great for people who, like me, when they're in the studio, want to fire off shots quickly. Like, I deal with dogs a lot, dogs and people portraits. Let's just set that down so I stop squeaking. And this one, it gets very hot, and so you need to rest with the S101 in between shots. You need to take it pretty slowly, or it just won't work for a while until it cools down more. And they say this in the information for it. So that works pretty well because it provides 300 watts of light, and it has the Bowens mount, and it's a good starter one. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So we've got the Q3 is the other one. Now I will mention for the Q3, which is a smaller, more portable flash, and the S101, I elected to buy this extra trigger that's designed to go with them. This is a big point that you need to know. You can't just buy any trigger to use with any flash. You buy into an ecosystem, and that's one reason why I've gotten this studio light, the S101, and then the Q3 to be more portable, because they go together with the same trigger, and these make it very convenient to turn things off, to adjust them, and not have to go play with each little light. So this one, so that's with that and the extra battery I bought for the Q3. That's been about $100 more, and with the battery, about $100 more than just the device itself. But I've been pretty happy with this. The purpose of this one for me, like I said, it's more portable. I can take this out in the field, and I put a quick release plate on here, and I've got my monopod that I use with the camera and a remote trigger sometimes. I'll put it on a monopod, and then what I can do is by myself, or if I had an assistant, I can hold this out in front of a subject with my flash on it, and I can get off-camera flash held out near them, get that angled light to get some depth, and I don't have to worry about it being on my camera like the on-camera speedlight. So this is much better for when you want to go out in the field, you don't want to set up a light stand, but you can use a monopod maybe, and you want to get a little more artistic, get some better shots that have some directional light. So it's been fantastic for that. Now I got an extra battery because I really worry about batteries running out and not being able to use it, because it's one of these specialty batteries and you have a specialty charger for it. But I will say that in like a 3-hour photo shoot, when I was using this as my rim light, it worked just fine, and it stayed at least above half of the battery level. So I'm not so worried about it in practice. If I'm doing more all day thing, then I might be worried about it. But I'm covered because I got the extra battery. What I'm saying is, for you might want to try it out and see whether you need that extra battery before paying the $35 or $45 or however many dollars it is at the moment. So overall, this guy, I could fit the there it is on my lap. I could just barely fit this diffuser on here. In fact, I heard the seam rip just a tiny bit when I put it on, but now it's gone on just fine, so whatever, it works. So if you want to look for NEEWER's, was it like 8.5 by 11 maybe, like a sheet diffuser, rectangular diffuser with this back, then that's probably going to be a good bet for this thing, because that keeps it really portable. It comes with this little case if you just want to protect it from getting dirty, but it's not rigid. Then that works pretty well. So I'm happy with all these things. Can't really critique them too much, except to say that it does seem like they're maybe not top of the line, but they are really good for starting out if you're doing this more fancy photography and enjoy this sort of thing. This Q3 I will mention before I forget. I put it on the monopod, but when I set it up in the studio, I took off the quick release. It wasn't too hard, and there's this little handle that comes in there with an umbrella holder hole. And this screw that goes on to put on the light stand, that doesn't fit in the case slot. They haven't engineered it so you can fit both this knob and this knob sticking up at the same time. So those just stay separate in there. But overall, it's good stuff. and I hope you know what you need to know now about them and enjoy your flash photography. Take care.
Ed eccoci qui per l'unboxing di questo diffusore per flash traslucido della NEEWER. Diffusore che ci viene dato per diversi modelli NEEWER di flash. Adesso andiamo subito con l'unboxing e vediamo come è fatto. Packaging che è minimale e dire poco, è solamente questo. Procediamo col taglio, che è la soluzione migliore. Occhio sempre a non tagliare il prodotto. Ed eccolo qui. Bene, apriamolo, vediamo subito i materiali, vediamo subito come è fatto e andiamo a testare direttamente sul flash. Ci viene fornito in questa confezione simpaticissima della NEEWER, in questa piccola borsa da trasporto. Apriamo, a sua volta è ancora confezionato in altri 90 busta plastica. Vediamo internamente che infil di ferro, quindi occhio a quando lo si lascia, lo si posiziona, perché tenderà un minimo a perdere la forma originale, quella rettangolare. Apriamolo. Vediamolo subito. Vediamo subito che internamente c'è ovviamente una parte argentata riflettente che permette di diffondere per bene la luminosità. Spero riusciate a vederla direttamente qui. Sembrerebbe di una fattura discreta, davanti intera. Qui andremo a ripiegarlo perché, come vi dicevo prima, può deformarsi. Vediamo questo flash se ci sono le dimensioni, se non prenderò l'altro che ne ho diversi in mio possesso. Allora qui non abbiamo di certo problemi di dimensione, questi gommini fanno sì che non scivoli. Dopodiché esternamente qui abbiamo questo velcro, quindi andiamo a chiudere il tutto. Bene, vediamo la giusta forma a questo diffusore e a questi ferretti. Accenderò, andremo adesso un attimo in modalità test, aspettiamo che carichi il flash e vediamo assieme se ci genera questa luce diffusa. Direi di sì, c'è una diffusione della luce, c'è davvero una diffusione della luce. Un pochino ingombrante, per carità, una volta montato, però utilissimo per ammorbidire le luci, quindi per far sì, specialmente sui volti, nei ritratti, che non ci siano quelle luci con delle ombre marcatissime, anzi io mi immaginerei una situazione molto più diffusa. Non so se da questa registrazione riuscite a capire come si vede, diciamo, questa luce, ma possiamo ben dire che il diffusore svolge bene il suo lavoro, anche senza andarlo subito a montare su un corpo macchina, perché ho usato diversi diffusori nel mio excursus fotografico, se così possiamo chiamarli, e posso davvero dirvi che è un prodotto buono, un prodotto davvero gradevole, questo della NEEWER. Il prezzo, parliamo del prezzo. Il prezzo per questa versione, che è quella un pochino più grande, è di 25 euro. Comunque ci sono anche altre versioni più piccoline, 25 euro e qualcosa al momento della recensione, per esattezza 25,49. Allora io spero di esservi stato utile e adesso procederò con la recensione scritta.